right, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, down to the bottom left-hand corner of Shakuras Plateau. We have SlayerS Puzzle. He is spawning as our red Protoss player, and he has been performing very well lately. He's already knocked off Mana and Morrow right after that, but now he goes up against Mouse Thorzain, who is our blue Terran in the top right-hand corner. Of course, this is Shakuras Plateau, Thorzain's favorite map, at least as far as I've seen. He's picked it basically every time he's been called in Team Arena.
Yeah, and Thorzain is so good, man. He is, of course, everybody remembers him for his first place in the TSL 3. He is an incredible Terran player.
What I really remember from Thorzain, though, is the heartbreak lost in the 5th game of a best-of-5 at the DreamHack Valencia Invitational. It was $15,000 winner take all, and he got 2nd place at Dawn Grey Goo, and it came down to the very last game.
Yeah.
Like that, I felt so bad for him then. But he's had a lot of good results lately. He finished 4th place at NASL just a couple of weekends ago. Sen did defeat him in the 3rd place game to once again give Sen a 3rd place finish after the Day 9 curse, of course. And he did net another $8,000 from that. So Sen still has to fend off the Day 9 curse, but maybe we can break that for him at some point.
Oh, maybe.
He is now Code S after the Naniwa drama, which I don't know if you heard, but yesterday he was seeded into Code S, and they actually revoked his Code S spot.
They revoked Sen's or Naniwa's?
Naniwa's. They revoked Naniwa's Code S spot because of what happened in his game against Nesty, the one that didn't matter, and because he pro-brushed, which I'm sure you've heard about by now. He pro-brushed against Nesty, and then they revoked his Code S status as a result of that, so it was given to Sen. So Sen is actually Code S right now.
Well,
there you go. Bit of information for everyone.
That's interesting. I'll have to read up a little bit about that.
And looks like Thorzain is going to open up with a pretty predictable 1 Rax gasless FE. It's pretty standard fare on maps where you have a pretty easy to defend choke point up at the front, as a bunker can watch any sort of early gateway aggression.
Yeah, a bunker is very good for watching any kind of gateway aggression on this map, and we'll see if Puzzle opts to go with any of that aggression. It looks like a command center coming down right away for Thorzain. Thorzain, he really loves his command centers. He will expand pretty quickly, and he's a good 2-base, 3-base, solid 2-base, 3-base Terran player.
And, of course, renowned for his very methodical play, hence his nickname, the Spoon Terran, and I've seen so many games from him where he will just slowly pick you apart and just capitalize on any advantage that he has, and then really obliterate you with Ghost play. He loves Ghost. He's one of the premier Ghost users in the world right now, and I'm actually excited for a nice, like, macro game that ends up turning into heavy Ghost play.
Yeah, he's so good with Ghost. He should change his name to Ghostzane. he was using Thors a lot early on, but then he kind of stopped.
Insert comment about how Thors are useless now.
I still Thors are great now. They're good against Zerg for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely. And in a mech composition, they're obviously awesome. And 1 or 2 Thors inside of your unit composition whenever you go up against any sort of Mutalist play lets you go ahead and make sure that you remain defended against any sort of Mutalist harassment back at your bases.
Well, it definitely makes it so that Mutas can't clump up, which means that it's harder for your tanks to be sniped, harder for your key units to be picked off by Muta clumps. But anyways, Thorzain here in a Terran versus Protoss, and he's going to go ahead and throw up that bunker that you were mentioning before. Puzzle does have his first Stalker out. Pretty common for Protoss to always get that first Stalker out against Terran, so they can deny scouting, so they can pick off any Marines at the Zelnaga towers.
And he is opening with a 1-gate sentry expand. Once again, pretty standard expand fare out of these 2 players, and I love how, if you remember this game about a year ago, expanding this early was suicide in any matchup, and now we're seeing much more well-developed macro games.
A year ago, expanding at all was like, what? It's 1 base versus 1 base. That's how you play StarCraft.
This is StarCraft. No, and Thorzain's actually opening with this very, very flexible build that I truthfully have only seen a couple of players use, and he's the one who uses it the most. 1-gate gasless FE into 1 Rax gasless FE into 2 Rax and then double gas. So it's not like where you just sit on 1 Rax then go double gas up into mech, and it's certainly not the 3 Rax double gas into quick. Medevacs. This is a variant that he uses where it specifically gives you flexibility. I've seen him use this variant, which he is right now with the engineering bay afterwards. I've seen him move into 2 racks and, oh, looks like that Stalker takes a little damage if it gets away. I've seen him use the 2 racks into Quick Ghost Academy. I've seen him use 2 racks into very, very high tech plate. It's an extremely flexible opening that's used in so many situations.
And you guys might be wondering, why so flexible? It's so flexible because you're not investing into that 3rd barracks, and you're getting that gas a little bit earlier. So you have more minerals, you have more gas, you can definitely spread out your tech tree much better than if you were going for like 3 racks before your tech choices.
Now let's go ahead and take a look at Puzzle's base as well, as he did open up with 1 gate expand into Robo, which is now moving up to 3 gate Robo now. He is producing Immortals already. Now this is of course going to come at the cost of a couple additional gateways a little bit earlier on and very, very fast Colossus tech, but it will give him the ability to either make a very strong push here in a bit or defend any sort of early bio push that comes out of Thorzain. And we do see that Robo Bay put down right afterwards.
Yeah, so he's going to get fairly quick Colossus here, which it's a pretty popular build against Terran and works against Zerg as well. Colossus all around a very solid unit. But I do like what Thorzain's doing, just adding on that starport, and he's also getting the reactor on the factory. So pretty soon here, he's going to swap those 2 buildings. He's going to start pumping out medevacs, but if he needs to, he can also switch into mass Viking production to deal with that Colossus.
Yeah, this is such a solid build out of Thorzain, but Puzzle's got a pretty good one coming at us now too, as he detects passivity out of his opponent. He's going to have 2 Immortals on the field, not much of a gateway backbone, but 4 fully charged sentries, and very, very quick warp prism speed. You crafty fellow, Puzzle, you. Quick warp prisms here. Are we going to see some Immortal drops here in a bit?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Ooh.
This is going to be interesting. Or are we going to see sentry? I don't think he's going to move the sentries in the warp prism because he needs the sentries at the front door in case of an attack. He needs those for force field. So I think he's going to lift off the Immortals and go off and do some damage.
He could very well pick up those sentries. Those sentry drops are extremely powerful against any race, but
that leaves his front door so vulnerable. If
it really does. He could warp in some more, though, in a bit if he wants to.
Taking the Zealots.
All Zealots. So we thought, hey,
neither.
Sentry drops are really popular right now. Is he going to go for that? No. Those Immortals? No. Picks up the other unit, which is, of course, the Zealots. And because of the warp prism speed, he will not encounter this factory on the way across. But you were talking about vulnerability at his front wall.
And there's a big push coming out from Thorzain right now to exploit that vulnerability. But
Academy.
What Puzzle did do is leave his sentries behind, and 4 fully charged sentries, they're going to be able to hold that ramp indefinitely. So, well, maybe not indefinitely, for a very long time.
It is a double ramp, so yeah. It's a little bit quicker, but no, you're very, very right. They have quite a bit of energy banked up at the moment. Stim Marine! Go to your forefathers!
I think seeing that Colossus, if that Colossus wasn't there, Thorzain might have pressed his advantage, but with the Colossus, he pulls back, and now the Zealots are inside his mineral field. He doesn't have anything in the back to deal with these Zealots. Was totally not expecting a Warp Prism play. Now he's got some Marines and Marauders coming out of his barracks. He's going to be able to kill off that Zealot, but not before the Zealots kill off the Missile Turret, which means that Warp Prism can get back in there and do more damage.
Missile Turret, anything else as well? A couple of workers, but not too much, all things considered. They were certainly very annoying, and they are going to pin Thorzain back a little bit, but we already have our Ghosts and Vikings being thrown in.
His choice to deal with the Warp Prism upon seeing that, and upon seeing the already quick Colossus, is to get a Ghost. That's very interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, it looked like he was anticipating moving into Ghosts in any case, which they're just incredible in this matchup. I have to throw that out there. Against Protoss players, they're actually devastating. Oh, he's got to rally this barracks, though. If he leaves that Ghost back at home, you'd be surprised. 1 key EMP missed, and that's no good. Armory coming up at the same time. We have a second engineering bay, though, and he's going to be... This is a very tech-intensive, greedy build, but Thorzain has enough units on the ground right now that I think he can make this work.
Yeah, he does have quite a few units on the ground right now. A lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders, tons of production on his production tab right now, finishing up and rounding out all of his upgrades as well. A couple of Vikings on patrol on the bottom side, looks like, to look for that Warp Prism, although the Warp Prism is actually up in the north, and it may end up going back in there for a second round of drops. It's all the way up in the tip corner with 4 more Zealots. In fact, those are the original Zealots, or at least one of them is the original Zealots.
And, you know, honestly, Puzzle, seeing the force that Thorzain had, ended up going for a very, very tech-intensive greedy build as well.
Prism. They're hunting. They're hunting. They are probably going to get that Warp Prism. Although that thing is so fast. Look at how fast
it moved away.
That thing is so fast.
Very, very well done there.
Wow, and the factory is going to scout out the third Nexus coming up as well.
All right, so Puzzle does get away. He is back in supply at the moment, yes, but he's chrono boosting out double upgrades right now. He's on very high tech. He is still doing mighty fine as it sits right now. Thorzain, of course, has the stronger straight line engagement force at the moment, but he's also only now finishing up his third orbital command. I imagine he's going to take that pocket expansion. He seems to be much more in favor of taking the pocket expansion rather than the one vertical from him, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. You can definitely hold off that pocket as a Terran much easier than holding off a distant third. But Thorzain's macro is really kicking into high gear right now. He's at 165 supply, so he's got a 25 supply advantage over Puzzle right now. And I'm not too sure why Puzzle's fallen so far behind in supply. It's very surprising to me that Puzzle's kind of let his macros slip a bit.
Tech investment, man. Double Forge, tech, double chrono boosted upgrades, Colossus upgrades, Blink, Twilight Council. Oh, but it may actually get picked off here.
Not before it unloads its Zealot cargo of 2, but those Zealots aren't going to be able to do much at all as they are going to encounter the Marauders and the Marines.
Yeah, very nice pickup there for Thorzain. And as you mentioned, his macro is looking very good. 15 minutes at 176 supply 176. On 2-2 upgrades with Ghosts and high tech in addition. He's doing quite all right at the moment. Now, what Puzzle really has going for him, though, is that his supply count is pretty far down at the moment, but he should be able to move into just mass unit production now that all his upgrades are out of the way. He spammed a lot of work gates down. But he's got to kick that into high gear right now before Thorzain pushes out with this. Otherwise, Thorzain is going to just outright kill him.
Yeah, Thorzain is looking really, really big right now. And if Puzzle doesn't start macroing right now, he could be in a lot of trouble. There goes the comsat. Will Thorzain decide to go ahead and attack based on his scouting? No, he will not. He's going to go ahead and wait till he maxes out, it looks like, and finishes up some more of his upgrades. He's going to get 2-2 first, and that is going to be a really, really big upgrade to have. Puzzle right now trying to warp in some Templars. It looks like he's going to make some Archons. It's just going to be a huge clash in the middle of the map, and whoever's going to have the most soldiers remaining will be the victor.
All right, and Archons are being thrown in now, and those 2-2s just about to finish up for him as well. Thorzain has not invested in 3-3 yet, curiously, because he does have the money. There we go.
There's weapons.
+3 weapons, and +3 armor will be here momentarily, have no doubt. There it is. Okay. Yeah. All right, so Puzzle, though, he's with, like I said, he's moved into mass unit production mode now, though, so he's almost maxed as well.
Yeah, he just caught up really quick.
Yes, both players are actually maxed at the moment. Let's take a look at worker counts. Thorzain is down by 15 workers, which means he does have a supply advantage in Army. And, wow, that is actually
War Prism coming back into the main again. And it's going to drop off some Zealots. That's going to be so annoying for Thorzain. Thorzain's going to have to lose, or he's going to have to bring back some of his forces, or he's going to lose some of his add-ons, which could be huge. The Viking's going to go in and pick off that Colossus, though. Picks off another Colossus, it looks like, and a huge battle unfolding before our eyes as the Archons get up in there, but we do hear some snipes coming off from the Ghost. It looks like Thorzain's just going to crush the Protoss army, though.
Oh my god, that wasn't even close. He just obliterated it. Just stood there and obliterated it. Couple of force fields to go ahead and hold off this army for a little while, but Thorzain could pretty easily just pick up and drop into the main, though. It looks like he's going to kill the third instead. Yes, he is losing some stuff back at home, but he has more than enough reinforcing in here in a second to deal with these handful of Zealots, and looks like they are indeed going to go down here in just a second.
I can't believe Puzzle just lost his entire army there. We really didn't see any force fields go down at all in that big battle, and I think that might have been the reason why he just got crushed. Protoss players have got to cut that Terran army in half, otherwise they don't stand a hope of dealing with that massive bio ball.
Yeah, Thorzain's control was actually super, super good there, though, and he's producing a couple more command centers back at home so we can continue his macro after he has denied his opponent's third base as well. And right now, Puzzle is back by 50 supply. They're basically tied on workers, so that's reflected almost purely in Army, and this is not looking good at all for Puzzle.
As if that Nexus wasn't going to be denied. The factory will be there anyway, so that Nexus will definitely not go down.
Oh, and the scan repels that Army as well.
That scan is just revealing the whereabouts as the Puzzle's reinforcing movement, but he really doesn't have that much at all on the ground right now, and Thorzain is in complete control of this game. You know, it looks like Mouse is going to bring back this series a little bit at least, as it looks like Thorzain may be on the verge of defeating Puzzle here for the first time in this series.
And look at this, Thorzain smartly getting back home.
Is he evacuating?
Yeah, out of the side, using this factory as a way to delay those units for quite a long period of time.
Although he's only evacuating some of his forces.
Yeah, he could actually continue to harass with this amount of forces here, pull the army apart, and then attack up the middle.
That was risky, though, because if Puzzle came up to the top, he could have crushed that little side army. But it looks like it's going to play out into Thorzain's advantage now, because that third Nexus is going to get denied again.
And Spoon Terran being Spoon Terran, as he could actually move in and just kill his opponent now. But it looks like he is... Oh, kills the Nexus, too, not canceled. But, yeah, because it looks like he is playing nice and slow. EMP's individually controlling this tiny little force as well. That was a good little win for Puzzle to clear up that force. However, he lost his Nexus without canceling, and that's a bigger loss. So, Thorzain coming out ahead there. This is... Oh, well, it looks like there were a couple of Zealots that ran down to the Planetary Fortress. They didn't do anything. Thorzain's still at a 45 supply advantage.
Yeah, Thorzain's looking
55.
Pretty nice right now. Stacking all those forces usually wouldn't be worth it for an expansion, even though it wasn't canceled. But in this case, it is. Sure. Because Puzzle just doesn't have any other mining bases. He's running out of money.
Yeah, and there are so many orbital commands out for Thorzain now. He's able to spam down so many mules. And a couple of Zealots making their way in. Yeah, they may kill a few workers, but honestly... It's just freeing up supply for Thorzain. He's okay with that.
Oh, man.
And here come the 3-3 Zealots.
Yeah, the 3-3 Zealots are going to be able to attack this Planetary Fortress. But nope, too many SCVs, too many meals, and the PF is going to crush those Zealots with impunity. And here comes Puzzle's last attack. Will it be enough? I don't think so.
No. More EMPs dropping down as well. The Colossus dies in retreat.
They can't even retreat.
Oh, no.
They're going to get cut off at the pass.
Archons fleeing in terror. No,
Archons aren't supposed to experience fear. Yeah. They're not supposed to experience any emotion at all.
And it looks like these Zealots are... ending up doing
attacking the PF.
Still attacking the PF. 100 supply advantage now for Thorzain. Nice Storm does hit quite a few Vikings, but that is a drop in the bucket right now. Unless Puzzle can actually not just kill this army, but kill about 2 bases in addition. It's not the only way he'd be able to pull himself back into it.
Literally, Thorzain is kicking the dead horse right now, and not much Puzzle can do. Here comes some Cloaked Ghosts. They are going to be able to launch huge EMPs off on those Templars. And there is the WLWL.
GG is called, and yes, indeed. Thorzain has taken a game back for Mouse. 2-1 now, running into game number 4.
是上将